what I found out is this event actually happened and was probably in the front page of the Jericho Times at the time that Jesus was telling this story. That was news to me. Further, the priest and the Levite were in the congregation when Jesus was telling this story. I'm sure they didn't raise their hands and say, yeah, that was me. I walked by the guy. But they were there. They heard Jesus telling this story, which really happened, and they knew it. And they were right there. And I mean, how would you feel? It was your guy laying in the ditch, and you walked by. And here the story is being told, and can you imagine? I mean, I'd be kind of shrinking. Don't mention my name. Don't mention my name. But Jesus wasn't that kind of guy. He didn't mention their names. He didn't call them out. He was telling the story. So what's the takeaway from that story? My question was, do we get to pick and choose who we're nice to? And I think the answer is no. Everybody was laughing and kind of shaking their heads when I even asked the question. But the end of that story was show mercy to everyone. I think that's what I got out of it. To everyone. Well, do I at least get to pick the fun stuff to do? Okay, I have to show mercy to everyone. But can I at least pick the fun stuff to do? Because we do like to enjoy what we're doing, right? And I think there's a lot of good things that we do that God smiles on, for sure. I'm not saying that. But I think we're given some direction again on what some of that stuff is. It's another story we probably all heard. Matthew 25. The story of the sheep and the goats. You've heard that story. Let's read that. And this is talking about Judgment Day. Okay, this is talking about when Jesus comes back to this earth and he's separating. And in this story, it's the sheep and the goats. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, and the goats on his left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee a hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall Jesus answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. But these shall go away into everlasting punishment, and the righteous into life eternal. So again, picture this. This is Judgment Day. And in my mind, when I'm thinking that it scares me to even think about it, but God's going to ask me. And the questions that I think about when I picture myself in that situation on that day is things like this. Ed, were you a good man? Were you a good husband? Were you a good father? Were you a good son? Were you a good employee? Did you help out at church? Did you give money? Do you ever think those kinds of things when you think about Judgment Day? Those are some of the things, and so aren't those good things? Doesn't God want you to be a good dad? Or a good husband? Or a good wife? Or a good daughter? Or a good child? Why isn't God asking those things? And maybe the answer is just simple, but it really kind of hit me as I was studying this week is the questions I want to answer and can answer yes to on most cases aren't the things that this passage says God's even got on the script to ask. And I think it's because those things are assumed. Those are easy. Those are given. That's part of what our character is supposed to be like. It's not doing anything extra to get married to somebody and then be a good spouse. That's supposed to be why you're doing that.